Hello, water signs. Princess India here to do your end of January reading. So, I'm doing it by element because I did not want to overkill you guys with videos. So, because there's 2019 overview as well as your beginning of January video. So, I'm doing it by element. So, for water signs in the event that you don't know, because there actually are people who don't. But, that's Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio, okay? So, I don't really know who it's for, but I guess I'll say it in both of you guys' videos. Because I wasn't sure if I should do water signs or fire signs first. And I kept throwing the dice of resonance, and I kept getting one water sign and one fire sign, and I was like, seriously? So I just had to pull cards, and I was like, whatever element comes up first, that's what I'm going to do. And then water signs came up, so hence why we're here. But while I was trying to figure that out, which is why I was like, Spirit, why aren't you just telling me? I was hearing this song in my head that I used to love. Like, the song literally used to make me cry every time I heard it. But the song is called What Love Really Means. And I forgot who makes it. I forgot what her name is. But the song's called What Love Really Means, and that's what I was hearing in my head when I was preparing. So, goodness, I'm like all crooked. So I don't know, I guess whoever resonates with it, but I'm just going to say it for you as well as fire signs. But just preliminary stuff, everything you need to know is in the description box below as far as personal readings. Those are going to be reopening soon, and I have a waiting list on the website. You can put your name on the waiting list because everyone on the waiting list are going to be the first to be notified when I open them before I open it up to the general public. So if you've been waiting on me since December, holla at your girl. The Reiki 1 certification course, the pre-registration, is also up on the website, so you can go ahead and register for that. Everyone is welcome, even YouTubers. But let me see what else. It's the Reiki, and the freebies that are on the site. So like a couple of things I've mentioned in readings, like different printables and things of the sort. Those are up on the site as well, and I think that's it. The little twin flame group is still up there. Super fun. We had like a whole 4-hour chat last night. Super dope. Really good vibes over there. But other than that, I think that's it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an overall energy for all water signs, and then we're going to go into your love lives, and I'm going to do each sign individually. So we're going to ask Spirit to give us clear and direct guidance for water signs. Anything that they need to know, Spirit, anything of utmost importance, I ask that be brought to the forefront in this reading. Please, Spirit. And I thank you in advance. Water signs, Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio. But I hope you guys' January is dope.
Just like you.
So we're going to look at a central energy challenge, past influence, what's before you, what's above you, and what's below you. I don't know why I got so excited all of a sudden. Oh yeah, Pisces energy does that to me. Love you guys. Central energy. We have the sacral chakra. Let me tell y'all something. I love music so much, right? So many songs that get me through life. But I'm putting up a playlist, and I started putting it together today because everyone knows from New Orleans, right? It's where twerking originated, and I'm an avid twerker. I'm an advocate for twerking. And the purpose of this playlist that I'm putting together is when you have unbalances in your sacral chakra, is to twerk it into balance. You know what I'm saying? I'm not joking. I'm very serious. Very, very serious. But anyway, it's your primal instinct. You know what I'm saying? And then if you know anything about human design, there's certain of us, if you don't Google human design and get your human design chart, And we may all have a chat about interpreting it, because human design charts, they don't, like, you know, you'll get your chart, but they give you the information, they just don't interpret it for you. But we'll have a whole chat about that, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, but there's certain like response mechanisms within, and each person, depending on your design, you respond from a different chakra space. And there's some people who are sacral. I'm a sacral person. So whenever you're making a decision about something, that's the center that you always want to make your decisions by, and that's very instinctual. So with that saying, to me, with you guys, it's not in reverse or anything, which reminds me of another worksheet I need to put up now. But we're going to go over all of that in the Reiki course, is the different symptoms of when your chakras are over or underactive, right? So if there's anything, you may want to Google that too, is just kind of looking at what the symptoms are when your sacral is out of balance. But what I'm really feeling like it is that going into February and the end of January, it's going to be imperative that you guys are really in tune with yourself and follow your instincts. So when it comes to like responding from your sacral, an example of that would be if a person asks, like, you know, do you want to go to the movies? And you're like, yeah, right? That was you saying no. So you went against what felt right to you. So whenever you find yourself, and I can't say this for everyone, but usually sacral people are the ones who grunt before they answer things. But if you ever find yourself being like, when you're weighing it in your head, it's like, go with your first instinct, which is no, you know? So follow your instincts this month. That's what's going to be of utmost importance, is checking in with yourself. So the challenge, we got more chakras. Your challenge is the crown chakra. So it's a balance in between the two. So whatever decisions you guys are making, whether it's in your personal life, family, love life, what have you, you guys want to tune into your instincts and align that with the guidance that Spirit is giving you. Because it may be something that you guys kind of get, a message you get from Spirit or a download, and rationally it doesn't make sense and it may feel off, you know what I'm saying, because it's new information that may challenge where you are. But check in with your gut brain, and gut brain is legit a thing. You might want to Google that too. But checking in with your gut brain. But the whole issue is too, because I'm hearing it another way now, for some of you, some of you may have a habit of reacting instinctually, which would mean that your sacral is overactive, right? So instead of thinking or even checking in with your feelings or even checking in if that's in alignment, you know, you'll just act. You know what I mean? Like being very reactionary. So for another group of you, I feel like the challenge this month is really going to be to listen to yourself, but also to kind of shift more into checking in with the intuitive guidance that you're getting, right? And then being able to act on that instinctually. Now, your past influence, this has been going on a lot. This is the Three of Swords. It's sadness and isolation. So you guys may be returning to the land of the living, you know, after a time of, you know, some little grief, you know, little heartbreak, little things of the sort, you know what I mean? But I always look at the seasons of sadness that we're in, like our winter time and our human emotions. It's always the death before the rebirth, you know? So I really do see this as you guys, you know, reintegrating back into society, because you guys may have kind of lately just been sticking to yourself, trying to heal, giving yourself time to grieve, and so on and so forth. So I'm more or less looking at this as you're stepping forward. It's Spirit kind of recalibrating where you're at, and kind of like, you know, when we go through a breakdown, it inadvertently becomes a breakthrough. So it's more or less after, you know, cleansing and purification through our grief process. Now we kind of have a clean vessel, you know, a little cleared foundation to build upon. And Spirit is giving you those innate tools to do so, right? To move forward. Your below energy is open up in reverse. This is the Four of Pentacles. Do I want to read these in the reverse? I mean, I guess I could, yeah. But with this, I'm feeling it two ways. I'm definitely talking to two different groups of people. there's some of you who are releasing, right? It's a desire. I don't know. I just feel like, I don't know what it is that y'all went through, but whatever it is that you went through, like that was some heart wrenching type of stuff. So there's some of you who are like, give me a new life, give me new feelings, give me sunshine. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm kind of tired of being sad. Like, I'm over it type of deal. So some of you are ready to just, kind of move forward out of that energy. Because I think it was, what is that? Like, you were getting to a point of like duress. You know what I'm saying? Where you were almost getting consumed by the sadness in a sense. So I think that it's like, it's the need of like, okay, this is really taking over me and I need to move. There's another group of you, and I feel this more in an energetic sense. It's like, how do I want to say it? It's not that you're holding on to the situation. I'm trying to think how I want to word that. It's like holding on to the slight, right? So it's accepting the situation is over with. It's knowing you need to move forward, understanding it's over. It's like cognitively we got all of that, but I feel like it's holding on to that slight because, and this is going to get kind of sticky. Okay, like if a person were to tell you like, oh, forgive, you got to forgive the person or whatever. It's like you're in a place now where you're holding on to the slight because it's like, how could I ever possibly forgive this person for what they've done to me? You know what I mean? And it's almost in the sense of wanting to hold them accountable, you know what I mean? Or waiting for the person to get their comeuppance, like you peeping out the windows waiting for them to get their karma type of deal. But just a fair warning about that. Just be cognizant about that. That's one of those situations where you have to trust the universe, trust the laws of the universe, trust the laws of karma, and know that, whatever we do is already done to us. You know what I'm saying? But it's like the energy or time or exertion that you're putting, focusing on this other person to ensure that they get their comeuppance, inadvertently puts you in a place of stagnancy, right? And if you're familiar with the Four of Pentacles, like in the Rider-Waite, or even in the After Tarot, well, no, it's really in the After Tarot that it's very prevalent. But the guy's like holding on to the little coins to the death of him, so to speak. And his heart chakra is blocked. His crown chakra is blocked with the pentacles, which is like the symbol of the energy that he's holding on to, right? The emotional currency or what have you. And that inadvertently blocks him. And that's kind of coming to me now because I'm looking at the sacral as well as the chakra. Because when your heart chakra is blocked, it, kind of backs everything up. It's kind of like a plumbing system of energy. It blocks everything up. Let's hope nobody has a black chakra. But anyway, it blocks everything up. And with that energy being on your sacral, it would make you very reactionary. You know what I'm saying? To where you're not really thinking before you do things. You're not really checking into your intuition. You're just reacting. Like almost a hypervigilance, defensiveness type of deal. So I would just say be cognizant of that because you don't want to stagnate yourself waiting for another person to get their comeuppance or, holding on to bitterness because that becomes a disease that eats away at your soul. Just saying. Above energy. We have clarity of belief. It's the Ace of Swords. So it's needing to come to a truth about your experience. It's more or less looking at everything full circle. So it, again, like how I said, the whole thing about forgiveness is not necessarily so much about the forgiveness per se, but there's a need to learn the lesson and not to stay in that downtrodden state of like, why me, woe is me, I can't believe this happened to me. How could they do this to me? Why is this happening type of deal? But it's more or less looking at the situation in an objective perspective and allowing spirit to show you the lesson that was learned. You know what I mean? And of course, that requires us to remove ourselves. And spirit is telling me the thoughts. So it's the perception of the situation. It's the way that you're thinking of the situation. And for those of you like with this sadness, past tense, if you've been in sadness for an extended period, a great deal of it has to do with ruminating thoughts. It's either on both sides, whether it's the, rehearsing of what has transpired, the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, or wanting that person to get their comeuppance, so to speak. But it's a need to clarify, to take personal responsibility, and to allow what you've learned from this experience to transform you moving forward, right? And what is before you is the Five of Wands in reverse, which is a good thing because it ain't no challenges. You ain't got to fight no more, babe. The fight is over. So the whole thing is here, if you get this inner balance going here, you guys release this blocked energy and you see, what this situation has taught you about yourself. You take that truth and you move forward, which was very similar to what it is Capricorn got. So if you have that in your chart or whatever, you might want to look at that. But anywho, moving forward, it's like and I'm hearing the song again. I heard that last night. The dog days are over. There's no need for you to be hyper vigilant and protect yourself. And I feel like that's the reason why all of this is coming up, is because going into this new energy that you guys are stepping into, Spirit doesn't want you taking excess baggage. That legit has been a theme for every reading that I've done so far, is this whole thing of excess baggage. It's like making sure that you're clearing out any residue and you're not bringing anything in, especially in reference to love, that you're not bringing in anything that can kind of skew your vision of people that you meet. So knowing the difference between projecting other people's past mistakes or even your past mistakes onto a new relationship, and the difference between that and red flags, right? So now we're going to look at you guys' love energies and whatnot or whatever. 17 minutes? We're not doing too bad. So I'm going to break it down. I'm going to do Cancer first, then I'm going to do Pisces, and then I'm going to do Scorpio. I switched up decks a little bit. My Romance Angels was on some other stuff. All right. Spirit, please give me clear and direct guidance for my Cancerians in reference to their love lives for the end of January going into February. Clear and direct guidance in reference to their love lives. January going into February, Spirit. Cancer. Overall energy, please. These cards fell on my candle earlier and they didn't burn. It was so crazy. I had a card avalanche, as I always do. And they fell like right on top of my little Himalayan salt candle. They were just sitting there and I'm like, because you know how they have, whenever you're in danger, it's fight, flight, or freeze. I'm a freezer. I'm like, oh God, my cards are on fire. This could set the whole house on fire. Yeah. But then I moved them and they were fine. It's interesting. I don't know what kind of card stock this is. One card for Cancer, please, Spirit. Cancer. Cancer, Cancer, Cancer. Cancer. Man, where are all these songs coming from? I'm hearing that song. Is it? Oh, crap. Why? They're so far. Now I gotta. Boosha. I'm hearing that song. Is it Shaggy? I don't know. That song, Mr. Lubba Lubba. I don't know who that is, but that's what I just heard. It may have relevance to you. I don't know. But anyway, Cancer, the card that you have is forgiveness. I said that. I called it. Nothing can be gained by holding on to past disappointments. If that isn't Spirit sticking you in the jugular, I don't know what else, Cancer. I'm just saying. If you're waiting for somebody to get their comeuppance, man, there's a quote by the Buddha that says, what is that? Holding unforgiveness in your heart is like holding a hot coal in your hand, waiting for someone to throw it at. You're the only one that gets burned. So that can stagnate you. So the whole key is that a lot of times when we talk about forgiveness, we think that that's giving the person an A-OK. You know what I'm saying? It's like almost saying that what they did to you is okay. So it's like if I release the, anger I have towards this person, it's almost as if I'm letting them get away scot-free. And it's like, nah, they got karmic laws. And it's like, you got to pay the piper one day. That's just the way this thing goes. So it's like whether you stagnate yourself by waiting for that to happen or not, it's like it's going to happen, but it may happen and you may not see it. And you may be feeling like it's not happening, or you may have an idea of how you feel that should happen, and it may happen in another way, and then you're not going to be satisfied with that. And things like that start to take over your spirit. It starts to make you like obsessive and bitter and angry, It's like one of those double-edged swords type of things. And the way that I explain to my clients, the best understanding that I have to date of forgiveness is that having unforgiveness towards a person is like holding your hand around their neck. You know what I'm saying? And while your hand is wrapped around a person's neck, it's like, what can you do with your hands? Nothing. It's like you could wiggle your arms around and whatnot, but it's like your hands are, fixated on the person's neck. Now, when it comes to the other person, their hands are free. So they can do a myriad of different things while you're fixated on holding your hands around their neck, So they have free movement and you're stuck. Forgiveness is pretty much removing your hands from around the person's neck and saying, spirit, karmic laws, whatever it is you believe in, I'm going to allow you to deal with it so I can move on with my life. You know what I'm saying? It's preventing yourself from having to be judge, jury, and executioner. That's way too much for a person to do. And that makes me think about, it's my favorite book, but they made it into a movie, The Shack. There's a part in the movie where he encounters a woman who in essence is the high priestess. I don't know if anyone else got that, but I was like, that's definitely the high priestess. And she has a whole conversation with the guy about that. I'm going to try to find it and post it. But anyway, so 3 cards for Cancer, please, Spirit. 3 cards for Cancer. I feel like y'all reading gonna be buku long, but it might not. 3 cards for Cancer. Whoa. And 3 cards fell out. Thank you, Spirit. I like when you do things like that. Fancy. First card is Seek the Truth in reverse. It's the 7 of Swords in reverse, coming out of denial. You know what I'm saying? Don't want to be a liar, cheater. A liar, a cheater, and a thief no more. Washing your feet and learning who Jesus is. Just kidding. Then we have the Emperor. Oh, Cancer, I'm so proud of you. See, when you come into the realization of this truth, of how forgiveness will deliver you and set you free, it's like you take your power back. You get your strength back, man. Killing the game. Yes. Then we're going to die to self. Taking off old wine skins and things, because you can't put new wine in old wine skins and what's not or whatever. So Cancer, what I am seeing, which is so beautiful to me, and 3 + 1 is 4. We got Emperor 4, and then the Death is 4, Foundational numbers and things, 4 and 4 is 8. It's a divine number, you know what I'm saying? A little reciprocity and karma going on. Okay, anyway. So the thing is coming out of denial. So I think whether it's you hear it from me, or 9 times out of 10, like I said, with the overall energy that we had, the epiphany that you guys are going to get is going to help you come into this realization so that you can finally let this go and move on with your life. It's like, I'm not going to hold on anymore. So it's no more deceiving the self. It's no more double-mindedness. It's no more self-deception. And now it's like going into the light of truth, It's taking your power back. It's taking control of your life. It's no longer putting your power in other people's hands, right? So it's really you stealing the show back. It's like you taking the wheel back, right? And then that gives you the power to more or less go through your metamorphosis. So just like how this dude, you know, he's looks like he's in transfiguration mode, which is pretty dope. But it's almost him removing this, whether it's a false belief, it's a false identity, you know what I'm saying? It's no longer showing up in life the way that you were at one particular time. It may be removing your, victim mentality. It's removing unforgiveness. It's removing bitterness. It's removing hard-heartedness, whatever the case may be. All in all, I see that in reference to any disappointments you guys had in love, it's now you seeing the truth about that and empowering yourself to move forward. So that is amazing. Now on to my Pisces. Unicorn, Pisces, y'all are freaking unicorns. You are limitless. Recognize this truth. You can do anything you choose to do.
Yes, you can, Pisces. You can do anything. I believe in you.
Spirit, can I get 3 cards for Pisceans in reference to their love lives, please, Spirit? And I think Cancers as well. I think for you guys, even if you're in, relationships that aren't in alignment with you, I feel like now this is going to give you the power to transition out of that. But for the most of you, I feel like the person is gone, and I just feel like it's the energy that's sticking with you. And another thing that really sticks out to me is like with the 7 of Swords in reverse, it's really like, for those of you, this is a whole nother message, for those Cancers who in the past were a person who acted as the Emperor reversed, and you were doing a lot of manipulating, a lot of mind games with people, I feel, and this feels very divine for me. It's almost like, because I'm thinking back to that crown chakra card. It's almost like, and this is for, sorry, Pisces, messages, spirit, you know how that goes. But anyway, y'all know how that go. Anyway, my confirmation people. Anyway, got to help y'all Cancers out. But just kidding. But anyway, so the whole thing is like, it's almost like getting this, a very painful revelation. And I can tell you a story that I told the group in the little twin flame group that we have. I don't know why I keep calling it little. That's so condescending. Sorry, y'all. But Twins Are Us, the group we have on Facebook, I was telling them this story last night. I was telling them that the pivotal change in my life, it's like eons ago. I probably, might have been like 19, 20-ish or something of the sort. And it was something that happened in my life. And I was like sitting and I was praying. I was like, Lord, you just got to help me. You got to help me get out of this. Da, 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 da. And I clearly heard Spirit say to me, what do you need me for when you're already the God of your own life? Very clear. And that shook me to my core, right? That was my breaking moment. Because in that moment, it's like I saw who I was, right? It was a little girl that was hurt, that had been through pain, that had been through trauma and disappointment in my childhood, and I was taking that out on other people. You know what I mean? It's like hurt people hurt people. But in that split second, like how they talk about your life flashes before your eyes, like when you die or are about to die, it's like I died to self that day, and my life totally flashed before my eyes. I saw what I was doing, and I saw how I was acting out of pain. And in that moment, that was so disgusting to me. I couldn't believe that I had become that person. And it's like I wept, and I was like, I don't want to be like this. I don't want to be that person. That's not who I want to be. And that's what really started my path, right? It was me saying like, okay, I'm wounded. I'm broken. I've been through some things. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, I need to fix me. So that's when I put myself in therapy and started, reading personal growth books and getting into spirituality and things of the sort to really sort myself out. Because in that moment, it was clear that the root of my issues was my pain. And I was replicating that pain and now involving other people in that pain, right? Which isn't fair to myself or anyone else, right? And that's what I'm sensing for you guys, Cancer. Like, not everyone, but just a specific group that I'm talking to. So this is like a person who, you know, which usually doesn't come up in my readings, which is interesting, but it's the person who would be the antagonist in the story, so to speak. And the forgiveness is forgiveness of self, because I feel like how that, conviction moment when I had to see the person in the mirror and see what I became, I feel like it's a revelation that came to you guys like that. And that's what brought you down into that sadness. It's almost as if you were completely oblivious to what you were doing to people or how you were treating people, because I don't necessarily feel that you were doing it in a way that was malicious. It's like it was a defense mechanism for you of how you were oriented to people, but it's almost like you felt like it was everyone else, like it's them with the problem, not me. But it's almost like something snapped where you started seeing a pattern and how all of these different people are saying the same thing and they don't know each other. And it's like, just like that little thing the spirit told me, it's like, you're the God of your own life, what you need me for. And it was like, but I need you though. Like, don't just leave me out like that, right? But that's what I'm really sensing for you guys. Not all of you, but just a specific group that I'm talking to. So I feel like the Seven of Swords in reverse is that realization in that saying, I don't want to be this person. So this Emperor upright is you turning that Emperor reversed. Instead of being manipulative or, kind of sneaky ulterior motive, is wanting to show up in more of an honest and forthright way, and is wanting to die to that old way of being to align with your authentic self, because the armor that you've been wearing for a very, very long time is one of pain. And that's something a lot of people don't understand. It's like, granted, there are some people who completely, we were talking about that. Man, this is like all the stuff we talked about last night. We were talking about like reprobate mindsets and things of the sort. There are some people who get so deeply seated in their darkness, you know what I'm saying, that they completely lose sight of their light. But there are some people who are deep seated in their darkness. But I believe those tower moments that happen in life, everybody gets those. Every person that's breathing gets those. Like that tower moment I had, everyone gets those. But at that moment, I had a choice. I didn't have to take the path that I took. I could have stayed the way I was. I could have let all of my old mindsets come back and say, nah, that was just you tripping. You know what I'm saying? That person is doing that to you, and da-da-da-da. I could have done that. But that feeling that I felt was so real and so authentic, and I was just so disgusted at what I had become. I chose another path. That's what's happening for you. It happens for everyone. So it is possible for people to change, but there has to be that breakdown to have the breakthrough. Okay. Now we're going to Pisces. Sorry about that, Pisces. Whew. It's heavy, heavy Cancer. All right. Cross Watcher is going to be very happy about that. All right. Spirit, let me get 3 cards for Pisces in reference to their love lives for the end of January. Going into December, please, Spirit. Man, that's real heavy. That's real heavy. That's what a repentant heart looks like, dagnabbit. I'm so proud of you. 3 cards for Pisces. Pisces has to step into their frequency of greatness. Whoa. That flew out. Yikes. Okay, Spirit is telling me to take these. All right. So the first card we have for Pisces is Sadness and Isolation. That's the card that we had in the last little overall reading. Next we have Rebuild in reverse. And then we have Feeling Alone in reverse. That's the Five of Pentacles. So, my sweet, precious Pisces. Why am I don't know why all these songs are coming up today. I'm hearing Let It Burn by Usher. I'm trying to think what that song is about. Oh, that's like a song like a guy who lost someone. Okay. Interesting. Listen to Let It Burn by Usher. But anywho, so you guys were going through sadness and isolation. That's what we saw in the previous spread. But the only thing that's a little I'm seeing that kind of two ways though. Like, okay, so with the Tower in reverse, I'm feeling this in two ways. It's like some of you guys dodged a bullet because there's a lot of epiphany stuff, but y'all are water signs, so I'm not surprised. It's more or less, okay, I'm sad, I'm depressed, because like how it was with Cancer, having that epiphany moment and coming into the knowing of what something is, but I feel like it happened to you guys with a person. You know what I'm saying? It's like you guys realized somebody, it's almost like you discerned a person was a certain type of way and you didn't want to believe it, but it's like you kind of listened to yourself and dodged the tower, you know? So it's almost like past tense, you were feeling sad when the revelation came, but it's like you dodged a bullet and now you're coming out of a place of, I call that like emotional bankruptcy whenever it comes up like in a love thing. You know what I mean? So it's almost, instead of settling, it's like you guys made a decision that was a statement to how you feel about yourselves now. So as opposed to going through a tower situation, so like having, you know, unctions and like sacral chakra, having those unctions that something ain't right here, something about them ain't right, but you just ignore it and go forward. I feel like you guys felt that. You tuned in with spirit and spirit was like, that ain't right. And you were like, cool. You were sad, you grieved about it because you were disappointed because you thought this person was different. You thought that this would work out better. You know, you thought this person would, you know, be that one that you had been waiting for, right? But you got the message, you acted on it, you dodged the bullet. But instead of you guys going into another depression of like feeling by yourself and alone and I don't have anyone, it's like you guys aren't going back to that place. Because I feel like this is a place you would go, you know, to in the past tense. Like that's what the cycle was. It's like optimism, new person, doesn't work out. I'm always going to be alone. Things never work out for me. And it being that cycle. But I see that you guys have made a shift. You know what I mean? And this is more or less, it's saying you're limitless, recognize this truth. You can do anything you choose to. But I feel like, but this is always what it is with us. It's telling you something that you clearly know already because you've acted in it. So in so many ways, I feel like this is another confirmation reading, but this is almost like a tip of the hat from spirit to you of saying, this is what I've been trying to teach you to do and you've done it. So this is more or less a nod, a congratulatory, you know, you passed the test that's not really a test. It's like you've learned your lesson from past cycles and now you're moving forward into a new energy where you're going to start drawing in now what's more in alignment with you, right? So set your hopes high, dagnabbit son of a gun, because you're a freaking unicorn. So it's more or less going into a season now where it's deciding what it is that you really want. It's taking all that you've learned from the partners that you've had that have not been in alignment with you, that haven't given you what you desired, or even looking at relationships you felt unfulfilled in and the things that you wish were different. Like, you know, when you're dating somebody and you're like, oh, you know, I wish they were, you know, would do this more. I wish they would buy me things, or whatever the case may be. It's you kind of taking time to figure out what it is that you want, and knowing and continuing to know that whatever you desire can be yours, you know? Because I don't know, it's like you guys have proved something to yourself. You guys have literally proved something to yourself, because I feel like that's been a struggle for you guys. And I really do feel like that's been a cycle. You know what I mean? But for others of you, I am kind of feeling, I feel it's the same theme for the second group as well. The only difference is how this tower is showing up. It's the present reluctance of letting go. So it may be that you felt like you're in a relationship, that you feel sad and alone in the relationship. You know what I mean? And every part of you knows that you need to let this go, because it's not like it's limiting you. It's making you feel very oppressed. It's making you feel very stuck. It's making you feel almost bleached. You know what I mean? It's like there's no safe space to express your emotions, to connect. There's no intimacy. It's like the relationship is like soulless. And every part of you knows that it's time to go, but it's like a reluctance to move forward, because it may be, you know, a fear of being alone, a fear that I may never find someone else, or am I wrong? Just a little bit of self-doubt. And it's a need to kind of tune into that power. And I kind of like lectured earth signs about that. It's like you don't deserve that. You don't have to put up with that. You don't have to wait for someone to show up and be something. You know what I mean? And you having to suffer in the process. So I think in every sense of the word, you guys know it's time to release this. It's time to let it crumble. You know what I mean? It's a need to listen to your heart and to follow that vibration that's trying to pull you out of this. But going forward, I do feel like you guys are going to ultimately let it go, because it's like when you're single and you're lonely, that's one thing. But to be in a relationship or married to someone and to lay next to someone every night and feel lonely, that's a whole nother ball game, whole nother level of lonely. And it is not a good kind of lonely. You know what I mean? So I feel like you guys are going to come to that realization. I just feel like it's a reluctance now for whatever reason. And that may be more for people who've kind of been here for a while, because it's just the thought of like, you know, what next? But I feel that this wave of, like, I don't know, it's a whole bunch of epiphanies that's happened. I don't know if it's the blood moon or what, but it's this epiphany of you realizing that you were limitless. It's like, I've been limiting myself, but me being a divine being, I'm limitless. I don't have to settle for this. And now I'm going out in search of what is due to me, what's owed to me, you know? Go ahead to my website and download the little free printable, The Birthrights of the Sacred Self. And you don't have to put your email in or anything like that. There's no catch. It's just free, you know. Like my love for you, Pisces. Now my Scorpios. I have my veil over here. I would be very dramatic and put it on. If you're a new Scorpio to my channel, you wouldn't get that joke. I used to talk to Scorpios with a black veil on and a Darth Vader voice. Spirit, can I get an overall energy from my Scorpios? We're not doing too bad on time. Whoa. Scorpio, Spirit. Overall energy for Scorpio for the end of January going into February. Whoa, okay. Where's all of these songs coming from? Now I'm hearing Adele. Never mind, I'll find someone like you. I wish nothing but the best for you too. Don't forget me, I beg. Blah, 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 blah. I've never heard this many songs in one day. See, this is what happens when I read for all y'all at once. That's why I don't do elemental readings. All this energy at once is like, what is happening? Anyway, so you guys have do something for someone else. Give your attention to someone else. Sounds like somebody needs a little bit of a diversion. In order to receive what you want, sometimes you have to give it. That's what I'm hearing. So if you want more money, you give money, you know? If you want support, like help with a project you're working on, help someone else, you know? It's all energetic currency. Whatever you put out, you always get back. So whatever we do is already done to us, you know what I'm saying? Let me get 3 cards for Scorpios, please, Spirit. 3 cards for Scorpios. I think it's funny. I'm looking at these love readings. They feel like personal development readings, I swear. 3 cards for, oh, good Lord, mother of spadoodles. Okay. We have the Ace of Cups, Love Abounds. And we have the Magician in reverse. Whoa. And then we have the Hierophant. Love Abounds, Manifest in reverse. And then we have the Hierophant. So, here's the thing, Scorpio. Of course, you know, when the Magician is reversed, it's always the thought of, manipulation and abuse of power and things of the sort. I don't really get that sense. You know what I'm saying? I'm hearing it as like stagnation, you know? It's like there's an opportunity now, like a path, a door has opened to something that could lead you to fulfillment and abundance. But I'm feeling this Magician in reverse, or the Manifest in reverse, is like a lack of confidence in oneself. It's like you have the opportunity to obtain what you want, right? But it is feeling as if you're not equipped. You know what I mean? Now, what this what this could be, this is very interesting. What it could be, and this could be male or female, it could be that you're with someone that wants a commitment, whether it's like marriage, like or someone could have proposed to you, you know, and you're reluctant. Like you may have said yes, or you may have been like, can we rain check real quick? Can I get back to you on that? You know what I mean? So it's like you have the opportunity to cultivate what you want, but it's feeling as if you're ill-equipped. And of course, that can manifest a myriad of different ways. It could be finding out you're having a kid and being like, I don't know what to do with babies. You know what I mean? But it's a need to re-empower the self, to realign with where you were prior to whatever it is that's come up that's making you doubt yourself presently. You know what I mean? There's a need to ground oneself, you know? And really to tap back in, because I mean, for some of you, it could even be doing something that's out of alignment with you, you know? Maybe you don't believe in marriage and someone is pressuring you into getting married, you know what I mean? So it's a need to really check back into your belief system, to your foundation, to know how to move forward. But all in all, it's an opportunity that's here. Because I always say, like with my ace cards, there's the 10 exists within the ace to me. So the ace is merely like a raw clump of energy a seed that you can plant that has the potential of growing to the 10, right? So this opportunity is here, but it's feeling as if you don't possess the tools to cultivate the opportunity. You know what I mean? And of course, it's like, I want to put this in reference to a love situation specifically, but the only thing I'm really seeing with that is along the lines of commitment. And I don't know, let me pull some more clarifiers on this sucker. I don't know if that's like, I don't want to say that it's something like you want to be with someone and you feel, I don't know if maybe you're non-committal. I don't know. But I feel like you're too inner focused. You know what I mean? It's like, I feel like all of this is happening. Oh, good Lord, are you serious? I feel like all of this is happening and there's like people around you. So it's like this whole process is happening in your head, but I feel like if you guys are in a partnership, it's like your partner is completely oblivious that any of this is even going on. Can you clarify the Magician in reverse for me, please, Spirit? You're not listening to your intuition. That makes sense. And I mean, even for some of you guys, if this is a situation where someone has offered you, like made a like relationship offer to you, that's the only way I could see this Magician reverse as like a manipulation kind of thing. If it's somebody who is making you an offer, but the dynamics of the relationship are always you giving. It's always an unequal exchange. There very well could be intuitive hits that are coming in relation to this that you're not listening to, but it's like feeling an unrest within yourself, you know, going towards like a higher form of commitment in this relationship. There's a reluctance now, and the reason for that is the fact that you're not seeing the situation clearly, but it's more or less like the desire of like, I want to be married or I want a commitment, and almost like not listening to your better judgment. It's like thinking the unrest that you feel is like, oh, I'm just tripping. You know what I'm saying? I just have the jitters, or I haven't been in a relationship for too long, or so on and so forth. But I feel like it's kind of like a heads up. And then for others of you, I mean, it's just, for others of you, it could literally just be something that's not panning out because you're, and that kind of goes back to the first person. Like I said, all of this is happening in your head and your partner is like none the wiser. You know what I mean? It's like you're not seeing how you're not showing up in this situation. You know what I'm saying? How you're kind of emotionally unavailable, you know? Or how you're not listening to your own inner guidance. What is the Hierophant about, Spirit? The Hierophant, and that's two major arcanas, BTW. So that's something like how it is with Cancer, that's indicative of like a major shift that is supposed to be occurring right now. What is the Hierophant about, Spirit? 53 minutes. Lord have mercy. Oh, good Lord. We have the Empress in reverse. We have the Crown Chakra. Yeah. And then we have the Six of Pentacles, giving and receiving. This is like a lack mentality. I hate to say it. I mean, I don't know. I don't know who I'm picking up on. But me looking at do something for someone else. I'm looking at the Ace of Cups. So a new emotional opportunity. We have the Magician in reverse and the third eye chakra in reverse. That to me is saying that, like with that first group of people I was talking to, all of these things, this whole narrative or scenario is happening in your head, but your partner is none the wiser. You're feeling a myriad of different things, a fear of opening up, a fear of commitment. I'm acting in defense mechanisms. I may be being manipulative and playing head games and things of the sort, right? But I'm not connected to my intuitive guidance, so I can't even see that this is what it is. Like, I have an opportunity to cultivate happiness, you know? But it may be that I'm so used to, maybe in a past tense sense, of always doing for people and being taken advantage of, that it comes to a point now where I don't give anything, right? So there is no manifestation, there is no magic, there is no coming together. You know what I mean? And then it's like, when it comes to a sense of where we're shutting off our heart space, that ultimately shuts off our crown chakra, which is it is we have here. So you can't see, you can't hear, you're not receiving, you're not receptive to other humans, nor are you receptive to spirit. Thus, you can't manifest because you're out of alignment. And it's wondering why, things aren't going. And it's because do something for someone else to bring some reciprocity. You know what I mean? It's a lot of things that are being given, but they're not being reciprocated. You know what I'm saying? And then with having the Empress in reverse, it's like this is a card of like infertility. You know what I'm saying? And not like in the literal sense. I mean, I'm hoping and praying that it's not like, a miscarriage or nothing like that. But I'm really more or less seeing this in the sense of a lack of fertility or infertility, in the sense that one is not abundant. Like the seeds I'm planting are not germinating. They're not bringing forth fruit. You know what I mean? And the reason for that stagnancy is because there's no reciprocity. It's like you cannot harvest a crop you never sowed. You know what I mean? And be upset that, no fruit was beget. It's like, you ain't plant no seeds. Like, why is you mad? You know what I'm saying? So I kind of feel like there's some emotional blocks that are going on here. So much so that it's an opportunity for a commitment. This could be a very pivotal lesson that could be learned, that could transform. And the key to this transformation is simply giving, you know? But I feel it's a fear of intimacy, a fear of being vulnerable. And don't take this personal, Scorpios, because this could very well be me picking up on the energy of the person that you're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? But it's a lack of give and take. But I'm feeling for the cards that are in front of me, it's the person that's not giving and is consistently taking. You know what I mean? And a person who's never investing but is always taking, that does put this magician into the space of where it becomes the manipulator. It's smoke and mirrors. You know what I'm saying? It's denying other people free will, free decision making, because it's trying to always have one-upmanship. It's always trying to maintain the upper hand. But that's done out of fear. It's thinking that I need to have power and control over people outside of myself in order for me to be safe. But the thing that has ceased to be realized in the midst of doing that to self-protect is everything around this person has been drying up. You know what I'm saying? It's like, this is one of those situations where a person wakes up and realizes that they are alone and they have no one, which makes me think of a song by Jeff Buckley. Where are all of these songs coming from? Oh, what's the name of that song? Lover, You Should Have Come Over. Water signs, all y'all energy. Lover, You Should Have Come Over. That song is like so sad. But yeah, man, that's what it is. It's everything around is drying up, and it's because there's a lack of giving. and one cannot receive if you don't give. That's why the overall energy is do something for someone else, because spirit is giving an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? He's giving a cup to you that can be cultivated. But the thing is here is to not take this cup and to hoard it, you know, and slurp it down for yourself and like give people little fingertip drops and things of the sort. It's do do what it is you're desiring. You're desiring connection on some way or another. I don't even feel like you would be watching this if you didn't desire that. But it's just the need to give. And that's going to cause this shift. So again, guys, there's a same theme that I'm seeing in all of the readings, and specifically a theme that I'm seeing with water signs. And it's all about this major transformation that's happening, like this epiphany point that changes everything. But it's almost like something that's been very deeply rooted, you know? It's very deeply rooted. For Cancer, and I said there's even a portion of Cancers where it's them being in the same position as some of the Scorpios. And I mean, this is intriguing for me because I usually don't pick up on those energies. So again, like I said, Scorpios don't freak out. You know what I'm saying? This may not be you, it may be the person that you're dealing with. But the whole thing that will heal this situation is to step back into that abundant Empress energy. The person that you were prior to the hurt you experienced that caused you to shut down your heart space. You know what I mean? And then you can build this new foundation to move forward. You know what I mean? It's like tapping back into, because another way to look at the Hierophant is like the divine child. You know what I mean? Like the baby that's on the the horse and the sun card. It's like tapping back into that space. You know what I mean? The language of love, the spirit of love, that loyalty, that dedication that you had for the wrong people. But it's like having the opportunity now to share that person you were before with someone who actually wants to reciprocate that with you, so to speak. Okay? So we're going to pull the dice of resonance. Dang, y'all reading was the longest, of course. Water signs. So if you're not familiar with the dice of resonance, it's the 12 zodiac signs. It's a clarifying die with sun, moon, or rising, and a role that this person may play in your life, and you have the ability to ask a yes or no question. The answers are a variation of yeses and nos and time-sensitive answers. In the event that you get a time-sensitive answer, take that as a yes in the time frame in which that will happen. I don't interpret them, I just toss them suckers out. You know what I'm saying? So we have crush, we have Pisces, we have Aries. The answer to your question is yes. And then we have the female or Venus symbol. So the person could be a Pisces, Aries, Venus, or it could be a woman who is a Pisces or an Aries, or Pisces and Aries. The answer to the question is yes, and it's crush. But water signs, that has been your end of January reading. I love your freaking faces, and I will see you guys sooner than later. Deuces. Don't look at my ugly nail. Sorry. I'm getting that fixed tomorrow, I promise. I don't really think you care, but I'm gonna stop talking. Love your face.